Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. I hope you all are feeling energized and ready to embark on a journey of discovery with me. My name is Dr. Shamsul Herman bin Muhammad Effendi, and I'm affiliated with the School of Business and Economics, University Putra Malaysia. I'm deeply grateful to have this opportunity to present to you today, albeit virtually. This presentation centers around Raja Musa Forest Reserve with a particular focus on its peat swamp forest ecosystem. What sets our exploration apart is our unique perspective, where we delve into the concept of non use ecosystem services and the application of economic valuation methods to gain a deeper understanding of their importance. As we journey through this presentation, we will have a brief introduction, discuss the applications we have applied to value these services, present findings, and conclude by addressing the SDG. Located in the northwestern region close to Tanjung Karang and right next to the Sungai Karang Forest Reserve lies the Raja Musa Forest Reserve. It is under the jurisdiction of the Selangor State Forestry Department. It's 40 kilometer length and its widest point is around 5 kilometers wide. Raja Musa Forest Reserve is the largest remaining peat swamp forest in the northern of Selangor. The importance of water from Raja Musa Forest Reserve has grown as the population of these regions has increased. Educating the people on the value of conservation is essential because it builds support for policies that protects the environment's basic services from the general populace. Within the ecosystem services framework, Raja Musa Forest Reserve offers a diverse range of services, including provisioning, regulating, supporting, and cultural services. What's particularly intriguing is that, until now, most economic valuation studies have predominantly focused on evaluating the direct consumption of ecosystem services, often overlooking the substantial contributions made by the supporting and cultural services. The rules has expanded to the promotion of agrotourism. One cannot underestimate the value of Raja Musa Forest Reserve as the water supply for agricultural and domestic use. The peat swamp supply water for paddy cultivation, underscoring the significance of peat swamp forests in supporting this agricultural practice. Situated adjacent to Raja Musa Forest Reserve are active paddy plantations in North Selangor. This region, which spans from Sabak Bernam to Tanjung Karang, represents Selangor prominent rice growing area. It is one of the country's most productive regions, yielding an impressive 10 tons per hectare. The growth of irrigation and rice farming in Tanjung Karang has indirectly led to agrotourism. Tourists visiting Tanjung Karang are drawn to the lush paddy fields nurtured by Raja Musa Forest Reserve rich waters. A preliminary study found that agrotourism has now generated alternative income for the local populace. Initially, there were 18 homestays. Now, as a result, the local community has seized the opportunity to develop agrotourism related products, which are mainly homestays. However, the number has increased, along with the creation of other related recreational products, such as photo spots, room stays, tram services, aqua cycle tracks, food stalls, and ATV. The viability of agrotourism in Tanjung Karang is contingent upon the downstream services provided by the Raja Musa Forest Reserve, with particular emphasis on the hydrological functions. Within the scope of ecosystem services, cultural services play a crucial role in benefiting both local populations and tourists as the ultimate beneficiaries. Ecosystems services are often thought as the tangible benefits we gain from nature: clean water, fertile soil, timber, and more. Nevertheless, these downstream services are always understudied, although they are significant in contributing benefits to locals and tourism sector in this case. In this study, we utilized two approaches. The travel cost method was applied to gauge the consumer surplus, representing the economic value of agrotourism. Concurrently, the contingent valuation method was employed to assess the willingness to pay of tourists for the conservation of Raja Musa Forest Reserve, particularly in the context of supporting the cultural ecosystem service. Contingent valuation method, or CVM, is a popular economic technique for determining the economic worth of non-market commodities and services. CVM entails surveying individuals or households and asking them to express their willingness to pay. This study employed double-bounded dichotomous choice, or DBDC. It involves two yes or no questions, with the second question altering the bid based on the first. The strength of double-bound dichotomous choice include mitigating starting point bias and ensuring evenly distributed samples across multiple initial price bids. The DBDC choice is made up of the willingness to pay as the dependent variable and regress with independent variables as shown on the screen. The second model, travel cost method, is a way to figure out how much recreational and cultural amenities like natural parks, historic places, and cultural attractions are worth in terms of monetary value. It does this by looking at how much it costs people to visit these places. The traveling cost is then regressed with visit frequency and thus producing the consumer surplus. This does by looking at how much it costs people to visit these places. The strength of travel cost method is that it is consistent with the theory of demand and reflect use value from recreational tourist or tourist experience rather than the hypothetical in CVM. As you can see on the screen, visit is then regressed with the independent variable. Over 3 months data collection period, we employed both methods to study tourists and homestay guests. Our trained enumerators conducted face-to-face interview approximately with 320 respondents using a structured questionnaire. Now let's have a look at the outcomes by describing the socio-demographic first. Although 42% of the respondents has secondary high school education, those in the tertiary education level collectively made up 51.9% of total respondents. Majority, 39%, are having monthly income between 1,000 ringgit to 3,000 ringgit range. However, 48.1% have more than 3,000 ringgit per month as income level. 71% are male, while majority, 30.61%, are in the 31 to 40 years old range. 60% are first timers, while only 39.8% are repeat visitors. Most respondents are located within 200-kilometer radius. The average length of stay for visitors was 3 nights, whereas the majority of trip trippers, 61%, only remain for 4 hours or less. Now let's have a look on the CVM results. The bid price has a direct impact on the amount an individual is willing to pay. There is a decreased likelihood that individuals will exhibit a willingness to pay for greater prices in response to increased bid amounts. This observation aligns with the principle of demand theory. There was a positive association we observed between visitors' opinions of the scenic party area and their willingness to pay. A positive association was found between tourists' understanding on hydrological function and their inclination to make financial contributions. Travel expenses have an adverse impact on visits. This is the TCM result interpretation, and this is consistent with theory of demand. Travelers from far away tend to visit less frequently than those who live closer. Increased satisfaction with the facilities will result in more trips to Tanjung Karang. Subsequently, we proceed with the analysis by applying the double bounded contingent valuation method to estimate the willingness to pay for the conservation. The projected value of individuals' willingness to pay is 14 ringgit 50 cent per person annually. In the context of agrotourism, the consumer surplus is determined to be at 94 ringgit 9 cent per individual per visit per annum, as calculated by the travel cost approach. This study has several implications. The study produces two value categories: values related to conservation and values related to agrotourism. They both are non-market value. The value of conservation derived from preserving peat swamp forests is a prerequisite for the benefits of tourism, whereas the CVM estimations are hypothetical. The TCM estimation is based on actual Tanjung Karang tourist expenses. To enhance the conservation value, the peat swamp forests, promoting public knowledge and comprehension of this ecosystem is imperative. The effort can be made by integrating the awareness and education program into the agrotourism products. This can be done by working and training with the agrotourism entrepreneurs in Tanjung Karang. Other interesting finding is that appropriate agrotourism facilities can enhance the visitor satisfaction and boost Tanjung Karang tourism, hence raising the value of tourism. The environmental value of peat swamp forests goes beyond the value of the forest itself and extends to the surrounding landscape. Downstream benefit that bring in revenue for the neighborhood might be analyzed in economic impact studies. This research demonstrates that how agrotourism benefit locals through peat swamp downstream effects. Now, addressing the sustainable development, studies on economic assessment of peat swamp forests are essential for achieving these goals. The study highlights the significance of protecting these ecosystems by measuring their contribution to the environment and society. Through carbon storage, they are essential to reducing climate change, that is SDG 13, and preserving biodiversity, SDG 15. It will also help agriculture, SDG 2, clean water supply, SDG 6, and poverty reduction, SDG 1. Additionally, through encouraging ecotourism and sustainable resource management, they support economic growth, SDG 8. This study is funded by Grant Penyelidikan Sekolah Perniagaan Ekonomi, UPM, and we would like to express our gratitude to the Persatuan Agropelancongan Sawah Sepadan Tanjung Karang, Selangor. And lastly, we would like to thank you for your support for nature.